Hi, Max. Welcome back to another fun day of poetry. So, today we're going to be thinking more. Yesterday we focused on metaphors, and today we're going to talk about some of the similarities and differences between metaphors and similes. So, let's begin. All right. So, go ahead and find your learning target. Pull your bow and arrow way back on two. 1, 2. I can understand what a simile is and how to use it in writing. Woo! So, a simile, maps, is a figure of speech in which two unlike things are explicitly compared, as in, she is like a rose, or she is as pretty as a picture.
I'm reading a really good story. A frog and a kangaroo sat down to eat dinner. The frog's eyes sparkled like diamonds. Her stomach grumbled as loud as thunder. On the table there was a watermelon as big as a house. I can't wait to eat the watermelon, the frog exclaimed. It's much too big for you, the kangaroo said. You're as small as a grain of sand. That's nonsense, the little frog cried. I'm hungry like a wolf. The little frog began to eat all the food on the table. It even ate the silverware. The little frog became as big as a whale. The similes in this story really bring the writing to life. What is a simile? A simile is a comparison that uses like or as. This story has tons of similes. The frog's eyes sparkled like diamonds. That's a simile. It uses the word like to compare the frog's eyes to diamonds. Her stomach grumbled as loud as thunder. That's a simile that uses as to compare her grumbling stomach to thunder. I guess similes can compare really different things to make a point. Well, a frog's eyes and a diamond don't really have much in common, but both can sparkle. And a stomach and thunder are really different, but both can rumble. Authors use comparisons to help get their message across to a reader. How can similes help you understand what you read? On the table, there was a watermelon as big as a house. The simile uses the word as to compare the watermelon to a house. I know that watermelons are big, but houses are a lot bigger. There's no way a watermelon could really be as big as a house. It's an exaggeration. An exaggeration is a claim that something is greater than it really is. Comparing a watermelon to a house makes me think it's a really big watermelon. That simile helped me imagine what things look like better. Similes can also help you imagine how characters feel. In the story, the frog was hungry like a wolf. I know that in Little Red Riding Hood, the wolf eats people. And in the Three Little Pigs, it tries to eat the pigs. So I know wolves are famous for being hungry. This frog must be really hungry if it's hungry like a wolf. Sometimes I read similes that are confusing, and it's hard to figure out what the author means. So, how can you figure out a simile? It helps to stop and think about what you read. Let's figure out what the author is trying to say with this simile, Moby. The field was like a swimming pool in January. The girl waited for her friends to come. First, we need to find out what the simile compares. Right. It compares the field to a swimming pool in January. What is a pool in January like? Well, it's winter in January, and really cold in most places. A swimming pool is probably freezing. But a swimming pool in January doesn't just make me think of the cold. When I go swimming in the summer, it's always really crowded. But in the winter, the pool is closed, and it's empty. Kinda lonely. Hey, maybe the author wanted to show that the field was really empty. The simile helps me imagine how cold and alone the girl felt while she waited for her friends. When you read, it's important to stop and think. Sometimes when I read similes, I take notes on my ideas to figure it out. I love similes. They're as fun as a robot.
All right, Matt. So we now have a pretty good understanding, right? As a reminder, a metaphor is a figure of speech in which things are compared by stating that one thing is another. A simile is a figure of speech in which things are compared using the words like or as. The surface of the water looked as smooth as glass. Okay? Maggie's teeth are as white as pearls. Keaton's eyes twinkle like the stars in the sky. The air conditioning makes the room feel like an icebox. So, we know that similes are words that we can use in our writing every day, and we're definitely going to be using them for our color poetry that we're going to be creating over the next few days. So let's brainstorm and try some things, okay? So here's what we're going to do. First, I want you to think aloud. What is a simile? I want you to finish this sentence. A simile is, great job, Mavs. And Mavs, why do we use similes? And I want you to answer this question, and I want you to start out by saying similes are used to, yes, that's exactly right. Right? Similes are used to add description and details and entertainment to your writing. So, now it's our turn. Here, we're going to read this book. I might come back and let you have this be an optional assignment after the end. Okay. Here's just another one that I made, right? And this is like a fun thing we were talking about Google Slides the other day. If you want to do and create your own Google slide with your own simile, that can be an option that you have today. Okay, so Jerry the elephant ate peanuts like a tornado. He was as content as a bowl of ice cream. Notice for this object, Jerry the elephant, I used the word like or a tornado, and I used a simile using the word as. And that's what you're going to be doing today for 4 of the objects that you find or that you think of. So let's do some of this together. Okay? When you're going to do, we're going to find 4 objects together today. You are free to use this penny and do this with me. You're also free to use this green sheet of paper. So what our job is, Mavs, is we are going to brainstorm some of these things. So remember, you're going to want your blue writing folder. Okay. Thinking Map should probably be in it. And today, Mavs, we are just going to turn to the page that we were at from the other day. Okay. I'm going to turn to my first clean paper here. And at the top, I'm going to write a simile. Okay. Now, Mavs, I'm going to be thinking of 5 things or 5 senses that I can think of to help support my understanding of the 5 objects that, or of the objects we're going to do together. So you can think right here, we've done cotton ball already. So you might think about the way things feel, think about their size, their shape, their color, their texture, the sound they make, the taste that they would taste like, how they smell, etc. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to review. So we did, here's this cotton ball, and we said it's fluffy, white, soft, round, and light. So now I'm going to use this penny, okay, and I'm going to write the word penny on my paper, okay, and I might write things like round, tiny, metallic, and remember, Mads, if I'm writing too fast or you want me to slow down, just pause, or you can choose to do your own together. So I'm really looking at this penny and I'm saying, oh, it's very, it's like an orange color. It looks like it's very smooth. It has some very smooth, and I know on the outside it's going to be smooth. Okay. So just any words that you can think of that would support your understanding of this. Okay, next, we're just going to do a couple here together. Here I have this green piece of paper. Okay, so over here I'm going to write paper. Now, what are some words? And remember, when I'm thinking of my words, I want to be thinking of my sense words. Think of their size, the shape, the color, the texture, how it sounds, tastes, smells, etc. Okay. So now I'm going to look at this paper, and I'm going to think of course, I'm noticing it's green. I'm noticing it's very bright looking. It looks a little jagged, kind of like crinkly. Looks very wrinkled. Kind of looks maybe like a little, it's not very even. I'm noticing here's a tear here and here, so it might be uneven. Okay. And you want to think of at least 4 or 5 words that can describe these objects. So Mab, your jobs is you can do these 2 with me, and I want you to find 2 more objects in your house or things that you can think of. Like I know she used soccer field or the baseball field. Is this empty as a swimming pool in January, or is like a swimming pool in January? So you can use a place, you can use a space in your house, whatever you want, a noun that you can use. Okay, now I'm going to come over here because my next job, Mavs, is we are going to write 2 similes for each object in our blue writing folder. Okay, so we're going to do this work in our blue writing folder. We're choosing 2 of the similes, and I'll show you what this would look like. Okay, so for the cotton ball, remember that the descriptive word was fluffy, and we used a descriptive word as round. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing, But notice one idea uses the word like. The ball is fluffy. Oh, the cotton ball was like a big round snowball, and the cotton ball is as fluffy as a bunny rabbit's tail. Okay, and the other uses as. Okay, so that's what we're going to do, and I'm going to show you kind of how that would look here. Okay, so let's think of metallic. You can use orange, so I could say the penny. I'm going to go like, and my second one I'll do as. Okay, the penny. Maybe I'll do, I think I said shiny. Didn't I say shiny? Let's do shiny. Shiny. Okay, the penny is like a shiny star. Okay, so what I did was I used that word to describe, and then I used the word like to paint a picture. So the penny is like a shiny star. Okay, now for my second simile, I'm using the word as. Okay, the penny what would be a good one? Smooth is kind of fun. Orange would be a fun one. And I would think of things that are orange. Metallic. Okay, the penny is as metallic. Okay, the penny is as, and metallic kind of means like shiny and bright, kind of a metal-y color. So the penny is as metallic as a rocket ship. Okay, so again, I used my penny, I used my descriptive word, and I used as in my second sentence. Okay, next I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, and I might use wrinkled. Okay, so the paper, and I'm going to do the same thing. So I have my noun, and I'm going to use my like comparison simile first, and I will use my as comparison simile second. So the paper is like, and I had said wrinkled or maybe uneven, is like, let's see, trying to think of what are something, is like a wrinkled sheet. The paper is like a wrinkled sheet. So I'm comparing that to that, okay? And then the next one, I'm going to use my simile. I'm doing as my comparison. So the paper is as, maybe on this one I'm going to use uneven, is as uneven as a crumbly county road. And when I'm picturing crumbly county road, a lot of times the county roads they get less care and there's less money for them. So a lot of times they're kind of bumpy and they have a lot of cracks and things in them. So I'm using that to paint a picture in my reader's head that this paper that I have is an uneven, crumbly county road. Okay, it's an uneven surface. So now that is what you're going to do. You're going to find 2 more objects in addition to the 2 that we did together. Or if you want to find 4 objects all on your own, because you really just want to have some extra practice, then that is totally your choice. And they can be anything. They can be things like a brush, they could be a headband, a whistle, right? All of those things. So anything really works for this. and you just get a chance to do some writing with it. And here's what I want you to notice too. When you're doing this, I really want you to notice that similes and metaphors are in the writing that you read every single day. And now that you really know how to write and identify metaphors and similes, I want you to begin to notice when you see metaphors and similes in your writing and try to understand what the author wants you to picture or visualize. Because now you are going to be doing the same thing in your own writing, which is super duper exciting.